Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back once again to Fat Cat Collections. I got another watch for you guys today, and it's been a while, right? We have another Invicta. All right, so it's been a while, right? So I haven't really reviewed a lot of Invicta watches lately. You guys know I'll always be a huge Invicta fan, but there are so many watch companies that I work with now. It's just hard for me to, spend my own money on a watch. It really has to be something that is either really different or something I've been eyeballing for a really long time. There are always going to be the Invicta watches that are on my list, right? Now, I don't call it like a grail list, or I don't have really grail watches, but every now and then Invicta comes out with something I get my eye on. And, nowadays, with the pricing, I really just kind of hold out for the best deal. Now, this one, I have to state, my wonderful parents, mom and dad, got this for me for a gift. Very generous. This is for my birthday. Of course, we're not going to disclose when that was or is, or age for that matter. But it's one of these watches, and I'll give you guys a little story here for you guys. And if you guys don't like the stories, then you can watch another channel. I mean, really. I do it how I do it, right? So the kind of story with this, I've been eyeballing it for a while. If you guys have been watching me for a while, I have mentioned a green and yellow gold Gladiator that's been on my radar. I just didn't want it, and the price is great. Like, this price has been for I think $180. That's a great price for what you're getting with Invicta. But with the truck and other things, I'm saving money and buying other things. So I just kind of go in waves. Plus, with again working with Dartmouth and these Pagani sending me another watch. So it just really. Sometimes I just really kind of delay some of the ones I really want. And let's face it, we all know Invicta runs their sales. A little annoying, they run their sales every other day, it seems like. And a lot of times they're the same old promotions. I remember when Invicta used to do the yellow tag sale, and it was great because they wouldn't do it all the time, but when they ran the sale, it was going to be exceptional deals. So now it really just depends. They'll give you a 25% off coupon, 30%, 40%, then raise the prices 40%, right? So it just depends. But this was one that's been on my radar. I had it in my shopping cart, and what had happened was I was hanging out with the folks, and my mom, you know how the tablets are and the ads. I was looking at this, probably on their network, of course, and all of a sudden my mom got a pop-up on one of, I think it was like NBC or something like that, and this bad boy popped up. My mom was like, "Have you seen this Invicta watch?" And I was like, "Which one?" And I looked at it. I was like, "Oh, I was just looking at that." Advertising, this sneaks up on us. Mom's like, "Want for your birthday?" So I was like, absolutely. And the price was so great on it. Right now, by the time you guys watch the video, it very well may be sold out. I think it is sold out today, but I do notice, and this is a little conspiracy theory here, I sometimes notice that, I don't know, they've had this watch for weeks at this price, maybe even a month, and it didn't sell out. They had plenty, and all of a sudden it seems like sometimes I buy something from them, and it they have it listed as sold out. Total conspiracy, I don't know, but I wouldn't doubt if you see this back in stock soon with a higher price. Seems like after I make a video, they change the prices sometimes. But again, not saying they do. I'm just saying just kind of coincidental, right? So I do apologize, but there are other options on this that are fantastic deals. Now, if you're wondering what this is the Gladiator. And I'm going to call it the Midsize. Invicta needs to listen to Fat Cat Collections, and not just me, but, other... I said this first, though. A lot of Invicta markets their watches completely. I think they can do a lot better. We're not even going to talk about MSRP and that craziness and the hard selling. They make a great product. They make fun products. They make watches that are on par watches that cost 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times as much. It's a great company. It's just it's going to be hard for them to get past the stigma people have who don't know the brand, right? So, this is another example. I've been stating for years, Invicta needs to not call these women's watches. This is not a women's watch. This is a huge chunk of a watch. This is a unisex watch. And I think if Invicta really focused on making a lot of the great models that we've come to love, they would sell even more watches. And not just I'm telling you, I love the Gladiator. I've been wanting one, but I just didn't really want... I've been kind of really intrigued with the Invicta designs, but in the smaller sizes. You guys know I've reviewed 2 Invicta subaqual specialties, just in the mid-size 43 millimeter, and there's just something about these designs. Remember the micro machines we had, some of us had growing up as kids? they were still just Matchbox cars, but they were really small. And I don't know, just that size difference made you want to collect them. And so that's kind of like where I'm at with this. I've seen the big Invictas, I have a lot of them, but now I'm really gravitating towards picking up some of the Invictas that are like the midsize. And there's nothing female about this, right? Now this is done in the Fat Cat Collection classic favorite yellow gold and rose tone. It is one of my favorite color combinations. It just reeks gold. It reeks look at me. It reeks just bling, bling, in your face, gaudy. No other way to describe this. And when you throw that color combination on top of the Gladiator, an already insanely gaudy watch, it is awesome. But it's great because this is a 43.2 millimeter. Invicta got to throw the 0.2 in there. It's like, no, we can't make 43. We got to let them know you get the 0.2. It's a 43 millimeter watch. Again, model number 41102. I will put the link in the description where you can check this out. Also, I will put the coupon code that you can get 25% off this if you catch it. If you don't catch this one, there's other color combinations that are just as beautiful. I know they have a black with abalone. I would have got that or asked my folks for that, or I would have said, let's get that one. If I didn't already have the Subbaka Specialty in that color. They do make this in the diamond version. But, you know, when you start adding diamonds to these watches, you're now taking a $130 watch on sale, incredible price, up to like, you know, sometimes 3 to 6, right? Sometimes more. It's really hard to rationalize because it's still a $129 watch, right? But again, compared to other brands, I'm telling you, the quality is insane. These are reserve level. Now, they don't say reserve, but based on the quality that I've seen from a lot of the reserves that I have in my collection, these are fantastic timepieces. And this is where I think Invicta can really, you know, there's a lot of folks who just don't want the big watches. Like I say all the time, my pops is not going to wear a 55 millimeter watch, even a 50 millimeter. Something like this, if they just market it as unisex, they would sell a lot more of these watches. A lot of guys just aren't going to even look at the women's section because they're like, I'm not going to wear a women's watch, right? But there's nothing women about this. It's gaudy, it's bling, it's got everything that you Invicta collectors love. And again, for when other folks are like, hey, you know, I love the designs, I just wish they weren't so big. Now you got a 43 millimeter watch with this amazing, amazing Gladiator design. I think it's one of the best designs that Invicta's ever come out with. It's stunning, it's loud, it's fun, and I think you guys are going to love this. And for you guys who already have, I don't know if you guys are like me, but for you guys who have the big Invictas, like my Subbaka Specialties are one of my favorite model that Invicta makes, right? I have enough of them. Now I got the midsize, you know, I wanted the smaller ones. I sometimes want to wear these fun designs, but sometimes I don't want the huge wrist presence. You might be hearing that noise. My washer machine has got an attitude problem. It is mean, it's sad, it's obnoxious, it hates the world, and you can probably hear it, so I apologize. I gotta do this video while doing laundry, so it is what it is. Hopefully it doesn't. Off the watch subject, I am going to have to pull that sucker apart, and I think the hub is bad. I replaced the hub bearing on the dryer, and now it looks like the wash machine's acting up. So I'm hopefully get my laundry done for this week without it falling apart. So another problem. Hey, nothing lasts forever. Things are always failing, right? You always got to fix things. Except for watches, they seem to last forever. All right, so enough about this. Let's talk about it. I've already beat this horse dead. Invicta, pay attention. Make your watches, change all your listings. I get it, if you have a women's watch, it's like a, you know, flowery or something specifically geared towards women, you could have a women's section. But this is not. This is a unisex watch. They need to add a unisex section or just add a mid-size section. I think mid-size is the best. Again, I've heard it all the time. And if you look at companies like Aragon has made, they change with the times. Again, we have Rolex making 50 millimeter watches now. I get it, but here's the point. There's always going to be something for everyone. Somebody's always going to want a big watch or a small watch. I wear both. I had one guy the other day, it kind of cracks me up because I feel like I say the same thing over and over again. One of my subscribers, he's cool, you know, no problem, nice guy, always checks in with me on Instagram and stuff, but he was like, oh, I thought you only like big watches. It's like, dude, we've had this conversation like 5 times. Like, I like all watches. I just don't like overpriced luxury brands. One, I would never spend the money on overpriced luxury brands. To me, you just don't get enough for your money. I was watching another YouTube channel the other day where they put luxury brands under 200 times magnification. I was like, dude, put the Invicta on there. I want to see what the Invicta in inexpensive watches or affordable watches look like compared to these. But they'll never do that. So maybe one day I'll get my hands on a microscope and see if we can do it. I'm sure there's a difference, absolutely. God, I hope there's a difference for paying that much for a watch. But, sorry, to log back in here. But, haven't seen anybody do it yet. So, anyway, I've taken up 10 minutes of your time now preaching. Again, if you like the designs and you want to try the brand, by all means, check out these mid-size watches. Check out the women's section. All right, so what do we get here? So it's a classic Gladiator design. Again, model number 41102. Just a stunning piece. Love the wrist presence on this, and I've said it before in other videos. What I really like about some of the smaller watches, and again, 43 is not a small watch, right? This is not like, you know, 38 millimeters. Like 43 is a great wrist presence. I think 43 is a watch anybody can wear. Women, men, anybody. It's a perfect size. But what I love about this, it's got the thickness to it, and we're going to talk about that. I'll scroll down here in a second, and I think they list. Hopefully, they list the thickness here. I'm not going to bust out the rolling ruler here, but we have. Oh, you got to be kidding me here. Invicta. Sometimes you get all the specifications, sometimes you don't. Let's see what we got here. We have roughly, and this is just, I don't have a caliper here, fellas, but looks like just about 15, 16 millimeter in case thickness. So you have a really nice tall wrist presence, nice kind of fat hamburger style watch with all this other gingerbread. And the Gladiator is known for the chains, right? You have this awesome chain link system going around the whole watch. I like the fact that I didn't realize until I got the watch, they actually have a pin going through one of these links here, which holds the chain from flopping around. I kind of wondered like if this would be kind of jingling, jangly. It's not. To be honest with you, you know, some of the Rolex watches I've seen make more noise than this does. Not that that's a factor at all, but just saying, like, the tolerances are fantastic on these, and you know, this is just another indication of how you don't have to spend a lot of money for an incredible watch. Milled clasp, it is a friction clasp. You do have a couple, actually more than a couple. Most watches have 3 positions for micro adjustments. This has 5, and of course you have a fold over safety clasp. You know, some folks say they like the dual push button deployment on like some of the Aragons. I can go either way. I've never had a problem with either watch. You know, they stay on the wrist. It's not some issue. The plating on these watches, some folks come to me and they're like, oh, you know, how is the quality? Is the plating going to fall off or flake off? I have some of my Invictas are like 10 years old now. I don't have a problem with any of the fit. None of the finish is bad. None of it's flaking off. So they really got this down pat. They know what they're doing, and they're making incredible watches. I mean, this is just blinged out. Beautiful unidirectional rotating bezel. You know, for those who need to hear the sound, you know, I don't think it makes any difference at all when you're looking at watches. I watch some of these other watch channels, and they talk about like these super high-end luxury watches. I mean, I can appreciate the level of finishing, you know, with like hand polishing things. I totally get that, totally respect that. But to me, it's like, you know, for $150,000, they talk like, I don't know. It's just it's kind of insane thinking, in my opinion. But again, always buy what you like, buy what makes you happy. But don't think by spending thousands of dollars on a watch, you're getting a watch that when you put this side by side, you're going to say, oh my God, this Invicta is just like something out of a gumball machine. I mean, the crown is smooth, the threading is smooth. You know, they use friction pins, of course, which is pretty standard. Some brands use the screws. I've never had a problem with friction pins. And for those who are wondering about like the wrist size, and I'll show you what this looks like in a second. This is a, I've had to remove on this 3 links, and that's been kind of consistent with 43 millimeter Invictas that are geared towards the women. They don't give you as much adjustability. So I have a 7-inch wrist, 3 links. You can probably get it down to maybe a 5.5. Well, you can probably go a lot lower actually, but as far as wearing, you know, if you're a big boy, 7-inch wrist, 3 links, I'd probably say this will go up to an 8-inch wrist. You know, some folks have larger wrists, so that is kind of the downside to buying something, you know, listed as a woman's watch. Just keep that in mind. I wanted to throw that out there because if you are a big boy with that 9-inch wrist and you're gonna get the smaller watch, you know, you may have to like collaborate with a buddy and be like, hey man, can I have a couple links? I'm probably not gonna give you my links, but it is what it is. So let's get a couple close-ups here. Some folks have said, you know, they'd really like some of my videos to have less of me and more of the watch. That's unfortunately, it is what it is. You get what you get. I'm not going to go through the hassle of like, you know, really showing some insane close-ups. I'm gonna throw the pictures up here during the video. You're grown-ass men. You guys can figure out whether you like the watch or not. Make a decision. You don't need me to give you these insane close-ups. I'm not here to appease every single person watching me. I do the best I can with what I got, and I'm giving you guys the information. I mean, incredible watch, incredible durability. Now, let me stop. Let me get back to the specs for a second, because I'm going on. I'm digressing here. Again, 43.2 millimeter in diameter. I gotta throw this on. It's just, oh man, I've been wearing this for like 3 days. I know I was gonna wait for the wrist shot, but oh good lord, 43 millimeter on a 7-inch wrist. I mean, you can see it's not a small watch. Like it is, you know. And guys, I not to repeat myself, but I'm going to. You know, a lot. I know years ago, I've been doing this a long time. I know in the beginning, I was all about the big watch. I've always had smaller watches, right? Still always wore them, but I was always like, go big or go home. But now I really appreciate, you know, again, I've always had the smaller watches, but I went through more of, I won't say a phase, because I still rock the big Sea Hunters, don't get me wrong. But it is really nice to have the variety. And that's what's really cool about brands like this. Whether it be Invicta, Aragon, Pagani, hundreds upon thousands of different brands out there, they're affordable, and you're getting amazing quality. Remember, we are not living in the 80s anymore. The modern machining, the products coming out of China, the products coming out of overseas. I mean, it is what it is. You know, I mean, look around, go into a store. Don't get all high and mighty and be like, oh, how could you buy Chinese? It's like, dude, if you feel to take that high and mighty road, you might as well just throw away everything in your house, because pretty much everything that we have nowadays, most of it is from China. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. We can argue all day long about whether it's good for this or good for that. There's always going to be pros and cons with everything in life. But these products are being made and nobody's going to be able to stop it ever. So why not enjoy them, right? And so the quality you're getting is insane. Sure, if you go back to the 80s and go look at even Seikos, the quality was not what they are today, right? Everything's gotten better, and they're going to continue to get better. And just know, if you're new to Invicta and you discovered this video, you're going to love their brand. Amongst all the other brands I review. I mean, there's really not much that you're going to get where I'm going to tell you that, oh, you know, this is a inferior quality. Again, some of the some of the entry-level Invictas are not on this level, and the price on this is insane. Let me just get back to that. You can see the excitement in me making this video, and I've been reviewing watches for a long time, and every time I get an Invicta and I get to share it again with you folks, I just get I get giddy. Now, for those who also watch and are like, oh, you know, I just discovered your channel. This is kind of the problem with the YouTube algorithm. I got to keep you captivated here. I'm going to try to keep my arm up here so you guys can see the watch during this, right? Even I'm looking at it, I'm like, good God, that's nice. The problem with the YouTube algorithm is that they recommend, I guess, channels that are super popular. And I think they look at the popularity of channels and they say, well, this is going to be popular with everybody. And again, when you have guys like the Time Teller and guys like the Urban Gentry and another watch, all these, Jory, I think his name is, all these guys, they put up pretty nice content, right? Mine's pretty basic. And the problem is when you have kind of like that really sterilized, perfect content is sometimes I don't know if it's necessarily come across as real. And the problem with the YouTube algorithm is that although the content of those videos, the quality of filming is great, a lot of times that information they're providing kind of gets thrown out the window. And for some folks who are going to look for Invicta watch, if you search for Invicta watch review, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a lot of reviews from guys who love the brand. You're going to get the guys who hate the brand, because those are the ones that really draw the views. You're going to get the guys who knock the brand, dislike the brand, tell you they're garbage. And you really have to kind of change the way you search on YouTube nowadays. So when you're looking for Invicta, look for Invicta watch review Fat Cat or Fat Cat Invicta. Kind of add the channel that you enjoy to watch if you haven't subscribed, or people who like Invicta, or specifically Invicta Gladiator. If you narrow down the search, you're going to get more of the guys that are going to review this product in a real honest way, and from guys who actually like the product and like watches. Not these guys who are only pushing things that they have an interest in, right? I have an interest in Invicta, right? I have an interest in many different brands that I review, right? Sometimes it's a collaboration agreement, sometimes it's affiliate marketing. So, so it just depends. Aragon, I don't, but it's not like I'm not going to recommend Aragon, right? I'm always going to let you guys know what you get for your money, and there are so many great brands out there, and this is such a fun You can see my excitement. This is such a fun hobby, and adding new watches to your collection, being able to wear them and talk about them and show them off, it never gets old for me. I'm up to like, I think close to like 280 watches. It just doesn't get old. Every time I get a new one, I'm like, oh, you know, so never, I don't know. My advice to you is don't lose your, you know, don't get, you know, life is going to throw a lot of curveballs at you and stuff, but, you know, try not to lose your I guess your immaturity, because it does bring a lot of fun to life. You know, we don't have to be completely grumpy and angry as we get older, right? You know, and I'm not saying people are, and I'm not saying age and all that relates, but there's a lot of people who are just very nasty and miserable, and, you know, and don't make a big deal about stuff. And it's just so much fun to have something that you're passionate about in a hobby, right? So anyway, but all right, so box again, you know, this particular one came with the Invicta dive case. I'm not a huge fan of these, although they are cool, but once you know, have the Invicta bug and you have a lot of them, these really start to take up space. So I wish Invicta would, well, I don't know. I don't think they should do anything different. That's just my opinion on these. They're pretty cool. I use them for like ammo and stuff and little things. Watch links. This is the first time I got baggies. I should have had this years ago. Now I have to go through, you know, a box full of random links. But nice way to store them. You can take the foam out of them, or, you know, you can store your box of them. Super durable, super nice. You know, bring them on a boat. You know, protect wherever you put them from the elements. Although I will say, this one here is, the tolerances kind of suck, to be honest with you. It doesn't really, this is the first one I've ever had like this. It's really loose, so the hinge isn't really squeezing the box closed. So Invicta defect, here you go. You got it in the box. None of the other ones are like that. But this one did come with this. Not sure if you order one, if it would, but let's get back to the price on this sucker. $129 with 25% off. By the time you're done with shipping, order more, you get free shipping. But by the time you're done with shipping, in my case, I think it was like, I think my parents paid, what was it like, I think about $108 or about $100. Incredible. While I got you here, I'm not going to read you guys the whole thing on here about the loom and the movement, although I will tell you VH68 S2, which I believe is a Seiko brand. I do want to read you the specs, but I just encourage you to click the link and read about it. I'm going to link you directly to this watch, and then I'm going to link you to what is available. And what I'm going to do, if you just type in, well, just click my link. So I'll tell you guys what's in stock by the time you guys watch this video. Let me go to the lowest here. We're going to go low to high and just see what we have available and see if I can hit you guys up with, oh, this one's pretty good too. They have the blue and gold 119 plus 25% off. Here's the black one, black with abalone, 119, get 25% off that. You're getting this for, like, by the time you're shipping, like probably 80, 90 bucks. I mean, the purple and gold, they do have mine listed. This one here, the rose and yellow, 129. A lot of them are going to be 129. The black and silver, that's it. Cut. I'm done. You guys know the drill. Go there, check it out. Don't snooze on this opportunity to get this watch. Again, I may get the full-size Gladiator at one point, but I don't know, after having this, it's, you know, it's really, it added the Gladiator to my collection in a way that gives me something a little different, a mid-size version. So love it, love it, love it. I know you guys will too. God, check that out. Just a blinged out watch. If you see this in person, you're gonna be like, damn. And it's like, I know, like, me saying subtle kind of is like, what? You know, you guys might be like, there's nothing subtle about that watch. But when compared to other Invictas and the bigger ones, it just has a great wrist presence. And it's not too big, it's not too small. It is absolutely perfect. So, again, perfect for me, in my taste, right today at this moment. So, doesn't mean I don't like the bigger stuff too. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, drop me a comment or drop me an email. I'm always here to help. Do use my links in the description. And, man, keep having fun collecting these awesome watches. Take care, folks.